Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. It is House Edge Live. It's Johnny here from Casino Gaming Central down in very sunny Las Vegas, as you can imagine. So happy Tuesday. We're in the middle of a week here where I kind of started yesterday's show by talking about the two most frequently asked questions I'm getting at Casino Quest. Now that I'm down here, I'm here for about a month and a half or so. This is the middle of May 2026. I'm here for about a month and a half, working the store, doing some lessons, that kind of thing. And the number one and number two questions that I get asked are kind of the same question, but coming at it from different sides of the same coin, which is, how do I win? How do I win? And I get it from two kind of people. Some people want to know, how do I even play and win? Like, they're very new, not really sure how to play the games. They're in Vegas for a trip and they want to learn to play. That was kind of the genesis of Casino Quest anyway, right? It's like to teach players how to play. So those people want to come in and learn how to play so they don't get beat, right? They want to go in there and not be a noob and get destroyed. Some people come in, have played before, and had a bad experience. Or some people come in and want to play, but they're intimidated by, the energy of a craps table may be intimidating. Or maybe like playing blackjack, but not knowing basic strategy and don't want to be that person. So they want to win, but more really they want to be like careful. They want to not get killed. The other people that come in there are people who think they have or on the cusp of having some kind of an advantage, and they want to win, like they want to come in and destroy the house. Give me the secret sauce. Those are our two main people that I see walk through. And so I thought it'd be kind of fun this week to spend our time talking about that question, which is, how do I win? And what I can tell you is kind of this, that the casinos, they don't want you to win. The casino lives in a world where you shouldn't win, right? In their world, you belong to them. Your money is theirs. They exist to bankrupt you. That's what they're here for. Everything, the rule changes, the atmosphere, the drinks, all of it is designed to put you in a mental state where you're okay with leaving with your money. As a matter of fact, I said this before, I owe you an apology because I've said in the past, and it's kind of making me mad that I even said this, but and I think other people have said it too. Go with money you're willing to lose. Okay, that's fine. And the way when I say that, what I mean is go with money that's designed for a reason. Like, I'm bringing money to a casino that's there to help me win. Like, it's got this job to do, right? Going there with money and saying, well, I was going to spend this on a show anyway, or I was going to spend it on a concert anyway, or a football game anyway. It's just entertainment. It's the same thing, right? When you think about those two statements, it's the same thing. One is I'm going to waste money for entertainment. Two is I'm going there. Either way, I'm going to spend $500 on this table trying to win. But one person has already lost. And that's the thing I keep forgetting to like tell myself and to pass along. If you're coming in with the mentality of, I was going to spend this money anyway at the football game, or it's just a night out, you've already lost the money, right? You're willing to give it up. You've already made or given yourself permission to make a bad decision. That's a thing, right? And casinos know that. And they present that. And I apologize because I've kind of gotten into that narrative myself. The casino puts that out there. They have the shows. They have all the shit to make it, right? So go there if you're going to go and gamble with money that has a purpose behind it. And that's number one, right? They will try and bankrupt you. They will make rule changes to ban you from playing or take away any advantage that you might ever have in a casino. That's what this slide here kind of means to me. And then we look at what tools do we have. And today we're going to spend a lot of time on the brain, right? The bridge is your tool set, right? Players don't have a whole lot of tools. We don't have enough bankroll, right, to get through this. Most people don't have enough bankroll to get through it. The casino certainly does, right? It's the one physical tool you got. The rest of it is living up here, right? How you view risk. Do you have the intelligence, knowledge of the game to play? Do you have discipline? Do you set goals? How's your emotional state? Those are the things that you've got to bring. And so today I really want to kind of talk through some of that. And as we continue through, this sort of short series here on quote unquote, how do I win? I'm not going to give any secret sauce, by the way. Okay? There's no secret sauce, but I do want to talk through it. I want to talk through just some of my just kind of share some of my thoughts on it. Most of which is mental, but some of which we'll put out here at the table. Okay. And I want to put this out here because Skill says this importantly, right? Money is a tool. It's not to be wasted. And again, I apologize for being in that narrative for so long, but I owe you one. I owe you guys an apology for that because I shouldn't be telling you that gambling is like a night out. Go ahead and it's okay if you lose. It's not okay if you lose. If you think that, don't play. Go for the night out. Go have a better time, right? Anyway, today we're going to do a little fact or fiction. I'm going to give you not necessarily both sides of it, but I'm going to present to you a case for some ways that I think help us do a little better winning, okay? Or maybe give us a better shot at it, whatever. Tomorrow, I got to bring dice home from work, but I'll roll some dice out here on the craps table tomorrow, and we'll do a little bit of a pressure cooker test. I may actually even go into the app a little bit and play some roulette with you, or maybe some blackjack with you, and just run some stuff as fast as I can. The nice thing about the app is that I can run, 50 roulette spins in 15 minutes, right? I can only do 5 or 10 craps rolls here during the show time, so that gives me a little more time to kind of play. Anyway, that's tomorrow, and then of course Friday I'll give you guys a chance to kind of push back a little bit on me. All right. So before we get into it, what do we have here? Check some questions before I jump in. If you have any questions, by the way, or you have your own ideas on answer the question, how do I win? Let me know. Vegas Crap Shooters, how you doing, pal? And who else is here? Skill says this. Is this gonna be another black and white version? I am doing black and white, and the reason for that is the lighting in this room is not very good. So I've got, as you can see behind me, I got this big old ceiling fan. If I turn that off, you really can't see me at all. I need that light, but it's a very yellow light, so I look like I'm a, I don't even know how to describe it. Like it's like an alien. So I have to go black and white. Otherwise, it's just too weird of a picture. So, all right, let's hop in and do a little bit of fact or fiction. And there we go. And again, today's fact or fiction is going to be centered around the idea of how do I win. And I'm going to give you some thoughts on ways to win, mental ways to win, and things that I think you should kind of keep at the fore. So here we go. Let's see. The first thing, yeah, I'm on the right slide. I am. So the first thing is this, and I'm kind of alluding to this as we're leading into it. Being a winner means grinding, not gambling. Okay, some people, and I fall into this category too, and a lot of people do, and there's nothing wrong with trying to gamble it, right? Trying to go for a home run, but really, if you can find a way to embrace the grinder mentality, you're going to be a winner more often than you're a loser. Fact. That's a fact. I'm not going to accept anything else on that, right? If you're willing to grind, you will win more often than you lose. Now, if you gamble, you will win more in terms of total dollars when you win. You might win 1 out of 9 times, but you're going to win 10 times the money that I do as a grinder. Okay? But grinding is a synonym for winning. Be okay with a grind. I think everybody comes with this mentality like, I'm in Vegas, I got to hit the big thing. You don't. And part of that is I'm here for 3 days, right? Flew in on a Thursday night, we're leaving on a Sunday morning, right? Just because you're here for 3 days doesn't mean it's not 10 sessions, right? And if you can bring $3,000 or $5,000 and over the course of 10 sessions of $750 to $1,000 buy-ins each, which you can do with $5,000, and you win a couple $100 and stop playing each time, you can walk out of here a winner. If you burn your grand every single time you go because you're trying for the home run, you're going to walk away giving up $5,000. Right? Be okay with grinding even on vacation. It's okay. Grind on a cruise ship. Like, what does Brian Baldwin from Holy Rollers teach, right? Grind out the cruise ships for the free comps, right? It's a real thing. And I say here, take what you can get. Some days it ain't your day, right? And I think we all know that. There are days where you just get, it's just like Garrison calls it, a torpedo table. You're going to find yourself at a torpedo table where everything goes against you. Every double down, you get a card, you double, you you have or you split rather, you double both splits sometimes, and you lose all four hands. That's going to happen, right? You're going to have four guys in a row PSO on you. It's going to happen. If you happen to catch it early and you're up a little bit, take what you can get. If you can get money off that table, take it and give yourself permission to win. I say it's okay to win. Give yourself permission to win. If you get up at all in a casino, it's a miracle. It's a miracle to be ahead. Give yourself permission to walk away a winner. That's really hard for a lot of people to do, right? So some of my pro tips here, and again, some of this comes from me as a teacher, some of this comes from me as a player, some of this comes from me working at Casino Quest even, right? Number one, understand the game. This is knowledge. This is intelligence. This is confidence building. If you understand the game, and I'll use the game of craps as actually I'll use blackjack as the first example. Blackjack's an intimidating game because blackjack, although it is player versus dealer, a lot of people see that as player versus player because one player can make a mistake, quote unquote, and screw up the shoe and mess everybody else up, right? But if you understand the game, if you know basic strategy cold, where you're not making mistakes, and I'll give you another app example here. In the app that we're writing, you can practice blackjack, right? And it will tell you when you're wrong with basic strategy. You made the wrong move, the phone will buzz and whatever else, right? So you get better at never making the phone buzz. That's number one, right? Number two is it times you. How fast are you making your basic strategy decision? So if you're making your decision in 2 seconds or less, you're leveling up, right? Those things make you robotic, so you can't screw up. Understand your game. On craps, if you understand your presses, you understand your what we would call ladder. If you're going to go negative progression ladder, a positive ladder, right? Know your press moves. If you know it cold, if you have your chips ready, if you're always in the, in the vibe of the game, right? That removes a whole level of from you. If you're a new player, especially, right? Understand it. Practice at home, right? These craps mats that we sell, they're like $20 or whatever, right? Buy yourself a craps mat. Get a sleeve of chips and practice. Doesn't hurt to practice, right? Understand variance. I talk about variance all the time. People will call these things trends, right? When you win 10 in a row or lose 10 in a row, they say it's a trend. Mathematically, it's called variance. You're never going to get a perfect 38 spins of a wheel in roulette. Never. You're never going to get a perfect 36 rolls in craps where you see one of every number, 36 out of 36. It's never going to happen. It's always off kilter somehow, right? Understand that. Understand how the ways you play lean into that or pull away from that or get crushed by that. You have to understand that stuff before you sit down at a table and play. You have to understand how to bet. And this is where the strategists come into play. You watch Jeremy, you watch Waylon, you watch Ken, you watch me, you watch the guys at Casino Quest. They all show you ways to play, strategies, right? Understand how that works. Why does 88 inside to 96 across to 64 across work? Why does that work in craps? What is the magic behind that? Understand that. Understand what I'm going to show you today. Betting progressions. Why does a 1-3-2-4 work? Why does a 3-1-2-4 work? What is the magic behind these things? Understanding how to bet is important and getting out of your head. I think if you understand your game, if you really are okay with variance, if you understand how to bet and you're emotionally strong, you can get out of your own head and not make mistakes. Don't worry about the other players, right? Find a way to find your slot, your zen, your you, right? Get out of your head and don't mess up, right? These are things that aren't necessarily going to make you win. They're going to help you not lose, help you not make mistakes. And that's the biggest thing is if you can check off all the boxes, right? Your experience there is a sane experience, right? You make it good so that when you're up, you can leave. And if your head's right, you can make that call. Leave when you're up. That's a very important thing to be able to do. Now, why do people lose is the opposite of all those things, right? And here's the fact and fiction part of this, right? You lose because you don't have confidence, right? If you're unconfident in your press move, if you're unconfident that your bankroll can sustain you, I'm not confident that my $300 is going to last, right? That will cause me to have a lack of focus. If I can't focus on what I'm doing because maybe I don't have knowledge, maybe that's why I'm not focusing. I'm thinking about, oh my God, what do I do with a soft 14 against the 5? If you're thinking about that, you're not focused on it, right? That's a part of it. Um, your lack of awareness. And when I say awareness, I'm talking about this. How many chips do I got in my rack? That's a lack of awareness. If you don't know how many chips you got in your rack, that's the thing. How much ahead am I? How behind am I? Right? Again, lack of knowledge of the game, lack of discipline. Do I have the capability to leave when I'm up? Right? Am I scared to play this game? Am I intimidated by the craziness of a craps table? Am I intimidated by blackjack because I don't want to be the reason somebody else loses? Right? And you might be the reason somebody else loses because you're scared to hit a 16. Just what it is, right? If this chip means so much to you that you won't hit the ugly hand, don't play. You cannot play from a place of fear, right? And again, there's FOMO, right? Fear of missing out is a big thing. If you're playing from that position, right, where you're going to chase what just happened, or you saw it happen on that craps table, I'm going to go to this craps table and replicate that. All of those things are emotional. Everything on here is heart, it's emotion, it's brain. None of it is physical. None of that is throwing the dice. None of that is clocking the wheel. None of that is, except for confidence maybe, basic strategy. It's all here. It's all getting out of your own head and giving yourself permission to win. Now, let's take a look at a couple of things here, and then I'll throw some of these out to you here at the table, but I want to talk through them. These are some skills and drills you can actually do, and things you can try at a casino and see how they work for you, right? These are kind of like, and I would do it at a low level, right? Do it at bubble roulette, bubble craps, electronic blackjack, play for $1, do the stadium stuff, right? Where you can play for cheap. Practice these things, right? Again, when you're learning how to be, I hate to say this word, a pro, right? You don't jump in with 10K, drain your bank account, and try something you saw on TV. You just don't do that. You practice things like this, the 3-unit challenge, okay? What that is, it's 10 units, whatever that is, and win 3. If you want to go and practice this, go to Stadium Craps where it's $1 minimum bet or $3 minimum bet. It depends on where you're at, right? Even bubble roulette is $1 minimum. Take $10 and win 3 and cash a ticket out. Like, it's not about the money. When you're working your skills, it's not about the money. Professional baseball and football players put time in at the cage. They aren't getting paid for that, right? That's not part of their bonus money. They're putting in the work, right? Take $10, win 3. And there's lots of ways to win $3 or 3 units out of 10. There's tons of ways. We'll look at a few of them here today, right? Do that. Leave when you make your first money. This is a hard one, but sit down at the table, whatever it's going to be, and do all the work. Like, get to the casino, right? Especially if you're in Vegas. Leave your hotel room, come downstairs in your underwear, whatever it's going to be. Sit at the table, sit at the machine, put in your $20. If you win the first bet, which sometimes you do, cash the ticket out and go back to your room. I dare you to do that. Practice that. Practice cashing it. Even if you're going to sit there again, cash out, get up and walk around, come back down, buy in again with different money, and do it again. Practice leaving when you're up. I did a thing one time called the YOLO. Remember this whole thing? You may or may not remember. I did it like 4 years ago. I was here at Planet Hollywood. I won like almost $2,000 doing it. I bought in for $64 at the Stadium Craps, right? And I basically did a YOLO. So every time any new shooter came up, I'd pick a random shot. Like, okay, this guy's shooting. He throws a couple. Now I'm going all in, right? And I would turn my bets on. He would take one roll. I would win it. I'd spread the money across and cash the ticket out. And I'd wait till he sevens out. The next shooter comes up. Put the ticket back in again. Pick a random roll. Doesn't matter which one it was. Turn my bets on. And for one roll, I played one roll on every shooter, right? And I cashed out every single time, right? It was this kind of a process. Like, leave it first money. Like, take a win, cash it out. Take a win. Now, I kept parlaying that win to try something fun. But the exercise was not to get sucked in to this guy who rolls 27 rolls. It's one roll. I'll take one of his rolls. I'll see what happens. Okay. I want you to practice playing one way all day. This is hard for some people. Okay. Some people believe that you can chase it around. You can take notes. You can see that the nines are hot, or that this is hot, or you can feel what's happening, metaphysically in the world, and you can make your bets. No, I want you to try and learn variance. You learn what variance is by playing one way all day. Go to the roulette table, play 2 dozens, right? And do a 1, 3, 2, 4 on each dozen as they win all day long. Do that until you either win it all, win your goal, or lose. Never change. Don't chase the reds. Don't chase the blacks. Don't hop dozens. I showed Alex my strategy the other day, and he got killed by it. Why did he get killed? Because he was jumping around. I said, play 2 dozens and stay on it. He went from dozen to dozen to column. He was trying all these different ways of doing it. Like, just stay where you are. Trust what you do. It's either going to beat your ass or it's going to win. But learn to be disciplined in what you're doing, and don't try and chase what you think is coming, right? That's a winning trait. If your way works, if playing 2 dozens in roulette works, if playing the 3-point Molly works, then it works, right? If variance catches you, variance catches you, and you're going to lose a little bit, and that's got to be okay. You have to accept the fact that losing is a possibility, but don't try and chase it around. You can't flip from the 3-point Molly to the 3-point Dolly and read the tea leaves and hope for a win. It ain't going to happen. Practice playing one way the whole time. You go to bubble craps or bubble roulette or stadium, and again, do this with cheap money. While you're practicing, practice with dollars, not big dollars, right? Learn how to watch your system ride the storm or ride the wave the entire time you're playing. That's the only way to see how variance actually works, how it actually changes your wins and losses, right? Go big and go home. I'll show you that today, right? Win one big. We're going to talk about unit betting here in a second here, and have a leverage play. I think leverage plays are great. If you can play with leverage, and I'll show you a little bit of a leverage play too. That's a way to level up and get out a little bit quicker. So why don't we go ahead and go table type? Let's go. I'm going to switch my table. This should be in color, and it is. All right, there we go. All right. Let me show you a couple things, okay? And again, these won't be super exciting plays, but let's go with a 10-unit challenge, okay? There's 10 greens, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I want you to win 3. And I'll put the target is right there. There's the 3 we're going to win. We're going to try and win 3. I don't have any dice, so I got to pretend, okay? This 250 to win 75 can be done so many ways. Now, if you think you're going to try and make this last, okay, and we're going to take $75 out of it, and we're going to go with, let's just say 64 across, okay? I'll stamp these out here, 64 across with your $9 change, okay? There you are. There's 64. There's your 9 change, okay? Now you're out 75. Okay, there's 64 and 9. You got to win these. How many times you got to win to get that $75? Okay, and again, we're going to assume you're same betting. I'm not going to do pressing today. Assume you're doing a same bet. These win $15. We're going to call it $15. Okay, so to win 75, $15 at a time. Let's count it out. There's 15. There's 30. That's 1, 2. If I did 15 more, it's 45. 15 more, it's 60. 15 more, it's 75. That's 5 wins. Okay, 15 times 5. You got to win 5 times to win 3 units. Now, this requires something special, because after 3 wins, you'll be at 15, 30, 45. At the 4th win, you're at 64. If the 7 comes, you're at 0. Right? When you're playing this kind of way, unless you get all 5 hits, you're going to be at 0. And I think this is the thing that craps players specifically tend to forget. Okay? If I do win, I'll put it out here. If I win $60, right? I got 4 hits. I won $60. You're 1 win away from your goal, and the 7 comes. Not only are you not at your goal, you're down $4. After 4 wins, you're down $4. It's really hard to win 3 of your base unit, your base $10 unit, or your base of your 10, right? When you're winning it at 1/5 the rate. This is very, very hard to do, right? When you talk about winning 3, I'm going to take this all back. To win 3 units, I made a light mention of this in the intro here, is finding a way to be comfortable betting at unit. Okay, so the first lesson to learn is to learn how to bet at the unit. I think I got rid of, there we go. Learn how to bet with greens to win greens. If I have 10, I want to win 3, learn how to bet at the minimum with 1 of those units. Reduce the number of wins from 5 down to 3. That's the first step, right? If God forbid you're okay with it, bet them 2 at a time, okay? But this is where betting progressions come in. I say the flat better has to win 3 times to do it. If I'm doing a 1, 3, 2, 4, let's say I'm on the pass line, and I win 1, and I add 1 to it. Now I'm at 3. When that 3 unit win comes, I'm actually up 4 units. Okay? If I started my betting streak with a 2 unit bet, okay, and I happen to win 2, and I regress down to 1, I've got 1 in profit, 1 in play. My second win becomes my 3 unit win. Okay? You can do this in 2 wins instead of 5. If you learn how to bet at the unit you're trying to win, and you got to be okay with that, you can get it done. It's a mind shift for most people to learn how to bet at the unit you're trying to win. If I'm trying to win $300, bet in black chips and win 3 of them. Do it quicker. Don't try and win $300 $10 at a time. Okay? You try to win $300 $10 at a time. You buy them for $500, your goal is $300. You're playing 44 inside, $10 at a time. You got to win 30 times more than you lose. 30 times more than you lose. And if you win 4 and lose 1, you're at 0, right? The example I gave, 64 across, you win 4 times more than you lost, and then you lose 1. You're at 0. You still have to win 30 times more than you lose. Whenever you tie, you reset the clock. And in fact, you're down 1 in that case. You're actually down $4. Now you got to win 31 times to get there. Trying to do it from here is really, really, really hard. And it's soul crushing. And it's the why people think they can't win. Because you can't do this. You can't win $75, 5, or $10 at a time. It's too hard to win that many times consecutively, effectively, more than you lose. Learn how to bet at the level. Now, if you want to be a real ballsy guy, you take your 250 and you can go all in, right? Here you go. There's 220. There's 200. I'm light a quarter. 100, 200, 100, 250. Okay, we'll go 250. Why am I wrong here? Oh, because they had the 10. That's right. 200 and 220 in with 35 change, right? Let's go 15 and 15 and keep a nickel for ourselves, right? Go all in, okay? And you go, oh my God, why would I do that? Why would I go with my 250 and go 220 in, 30 on the outside? Why on earth? That's the whole 250. Why would I do that? What kind of moron is going into here with the whole thing across for 1 hit? That seems insane. However, with the exception of the 4 and 10, they're there for fun. All of these bets give you your paycheck, right? They all pay $70, right? 1 hit and you're gone. And you go, my God, you're going to risk 320 or 220 to win your unit. But I won my 3 units in one hit, right? Now, that's a lot to ask most people to do. However, you were going to risk it anyway. You were going to risk it anyway. You were going to still put all 250 out there. If it was $25 at a time down here and you lose a couple of them, And again, to give that example, if you're going to go 25 on the pass line or 50 on the pass line, like we talked about, and do like a little regression, right? How many times do you get to do that, right? If that fails once, twice, 3 times, which it can, that's 150 out the door, right? When that move worked, it won 3, but we've already lost 6. Now you got to win 1, 2, and a third time to get your profit. When you dig the hole, it becomes more difficult, right? You were still putting the whole 250 at risk. You just didn't feel like it because you were doing it in dribs and drabs. Here, the whole thing's at risk, one shot. Is that for everybody? No. But it does work for me. I do this actually quite a bit. I will often buy in for 300 and do 220 inside and then grab the 4 and 10 I do it for a quarter each. Right? I'll go 270. 220 here, quarter, 1 hit and I'm out, right? I'm okay with that. I'll take my shot. I'll wait for it's my turn to shoot. I'll set a point. I'll take 1 shot, pull them all down, let the pass line ride itself out and go home. That's okay to win 3. If you're, again, looking to win 3 units, bet in a unit size that wins you your entire goal. You can do it, again, bet at the unit or bet in a way that wins you the unit you're looking for. Hard things to do. Not going to lie to you. These are difficult, hard things. Let me come back to the other screen here. These are difficult and tough things to do. But if you commit to finding ways to take 10 and win 3, it's much easier than taking 10 to win 3, $10 at a time, or 1/10 of your bankroll at a time versus a little bit bigger. Learn how to bet at unit. Okay? Play one, and I say here, go big and go home. Sometimes going 220 in to win $70 and riding out $75, bye-bye, right? And matter of fact, if your goal is $100, right, in real play, right, doing this, take your 70 and come down to 110 in, like so. There's your 110, there's your 70. At the next $35 hit, you're out $100, right? If I take all this money back, you'll see that we're in profit at $100 in 2 hits, right? A little bit of a regression. Let's go 5, 25, here's $75 in reds. There's 1, there's 2, there's our 250, there's our $105 in wins, right? A little bit of a regression, bang, bang, 2 hits and go home, right? Give yourself permission, as I say, to win. Put it out there, get it done, get the hell out. Practice that. Now again, am I telling you to take $1,000 or $300 and do this tomorrow? No, I'm telling you to go to Bubble Craps. Go to Bubble Craps. Put 3 units on every number. Take a hit, go 2 units on every number, take a hit, cash ticket out. Or after the first one, cash it out. Practice cashing out. Practice leaving when you're up, right? These are the skills that you do at little tiny money to learn this, to learn how to do it. That way, when you go to a real table and you say, well, instead of buying in for $50 and betting $18, I'm going to buy in for 500 and go 160. It's the same ratio effectively and play the same way. Learn how to do it. Learn how to get those 3 units and GTFO. That's, I think, a big thing for me is that. All right, let's work on getting out of here today. I got to get to work, obviously. So let's see what we have here. Dan says, yeah, it's easy when I have dice, Dan, right? I can do it all day long when I'm not rolling dice. But that is the mentality, right? You play for, you practice for, or you prep for when it goes right. This is what should happen when it goes right. Now, if it goes wrong, what's the outplay? We'll talk about that in a different. I have a whole week planned of recovery methods, right? And bankroll recovery. And you can recover bankroll, by the way, the same way you lost it. That's what I say, learn how to play the right way. If I buy in for 500 and I go 320 across and I lose the 320, guess what my next move is? It's a 160 move. It's the same move. I'm just going to do it at a lower level more times to cover back, all right? Let's see. It's amazing how hard it was to learn to take the small win and walk. And again, when I say this all the time, it's not about the money. When you're doing these kind of practices, it's not about the actual money. You're not going to make enough money for coffee in many cases, right? It's just like being in a batting. I watched my son take 10,000 swings of the bat. Baseball player. I've taken him to batting cages, and I have thrown him. He's a catcher. I've thrown him more balls in the dirt to work on his blocking, thousands of them that nobody saw. Right? When do you see that show up? When it's time. He goes to the game. He's the best catcher in the state of Washington. Why? Because he put the work in. You want to be the best gambler at the table? Put the work in. Put the work in. Don't worry about the fact that you drove an hour to make $11. That's part of the job to learn how to do this. You have to learn how to do it. Go to Vegas, one of your Vegas trips, spend the entire trip grinding. Learn how to grind the entire trip. Trust me, the training is worth it. It's worth it to feel confident. You want to have your heart, your head just locked in and not be, distracted. It's such an important thing. All right. Yes, a realistic win goal, but one that you've practiced for, skill, one that you've practiced in achieving, and have a plan to get there. So that's just it. That's just it. All right. I'll leave you here, as we always do, by talking about staying in focus. This is from our friend Lou from the AC crew. We start with the bridge. We end with learning how to be in focus, right? Follow your plan, which we're talking about here, right? Observe conditions, control your emotions, understand your games, understand your odds, and stay disciplined. All of these mental things to me that's it, man. It's how we get through our day at the casino. And frankly, if you look at that really kind of tracks well to life too, doesn't it? Right? I can give this to my daughter, except for the understand the game, right? Maybe the game she's playing, she's a psychologist. Maybe the game she's playing is a psychological game, but she has always got a plan. She always understands what's going on around her, right? Her emotions are never out of control. She understands what she's doing, and she's disciplined. So is my son. They both are, right? These are not just gambling tips. These are life tips. You guys get out of here. Have a great day. God bless all of you. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll do a little bit. I'll bring dice home. We'll do a little bit of a rollout tomorrow and have some fun. Love y'all. God bless. Bye.